The light in the empty house. There was a small village near a forest. The village was peaceful, but there was one house that nobody liked to talk about. It stood alone on a small hill. The windows were broken, the walls were old, and every night a light appeared in one of its rooms. The strange thing was that nobody lived there. At least that was what people believed. The villagers had many stories about the house. Some said it was haunted. Some said a ghost lived there. Others believed that anyone who entered the house never returned. Because of these stories, nobody went near it, except one boy. His name was Sam. Sam was 16 years old. He was curious and brave. But he had one weakness. He always gave up too quickly. If something became difficult, he would quit. If he failed once, he would stop trying. His father often told him, "Success belongs to people who keep going." But Sam never paid much attention to those words. One evening, while walking home, Sam saw the light in the empty house. He stopped and stared at it. The light was real. Someone or something was inside. That night he could not sleep. Questions filled his mind. Who was turning on the light? Why did it appear every night? And why had nobody discovered the truth? The next evening he decided to find out. As the sun disappeared behind the hills, Sam slowly walked toward the house. The wind was cold. The trees moved quietly. Every sound made his heart beat faster. When he reached the house, he noticed something strange. The front door was slightly open. He pushed it gently. The door made a long creaking sound. Inside, everything was covered with dust. Old chairs, broken tables, and spider webs were everywhere. But one thing surprised him. There were fresh footprints on the floor. Someone had been there recently. Sam followed the footprints. They led to a staircase. The staircase went to the second floor, and that was where the light came from. Step by step, he climbed. His hands were shaking. His heart was racing. Finally, he reached the room. The light was on, but the room was empty. No person, no ghost, nothing. Only an old wooden box stood in the middle of the room. Sam carefully opened the box. Inside was a letter. The paper looked very old. On the front was written, "For the person who is brave enough to open this box." Sam began to read. The letter said, "If you are reading this, you are the first person in many years who did not let fear stop them." Sam continued reading. "This house belongs to my family. Many years ago, I hid something valuable here. But only a person who is brave, patient, and determined deserves to find it." At the bottom of the page was another message. "The next clue is under the oldest tree in the village." Sam's eyes widened. A clue? This was not a ghost story. It was a treasure hunt. The next morning, he ran to the oldest tree in the village. After searching for nearly an hour, he found a small metal box. Inside was another letter and another clue. The clues continued for days. One clue led him to an old bridge. Another led him to an abandoned well. Another led him deep into the forest. Many times Sam wanted to quit. The search was difficult. Sometimes he found nothing for hours. Sometimes he felt completely lost. But every clue contained the same sentence: "Do not quit now." Those four words pushed him forward. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into a month. Finally, the last clue brought him back to the empty house. This time he discovered a hidden space behind a wall. Inside was a small chest. His hands trembled as he opened it. He expected gold, jewels, or money. Instead, he found notebooks, dozens of notebooks. Confused, he opened the first one. Inside were stories, stories of people who had faced difficulties, people who had failed, people who had lost hope, but they never stopped trying. Page after page, Sam read their journeys. Some became teachers, some became doctors, some became successful business owners, not because they were lucky, but because they refused to quit. The bottom of the final notebook was a message. Most people spend their lives looking for treasures. The real treasure is the habit of never giving up. Sam sat silently. For the first time, he understood. The treasure was never hidden in the house. The treasure was the lesson. Months later, Sam noticed something. He no longer quit easily. When studies became difficult, he continued. When problems appeared, he continued. When success seemed far away, he continued. Years later, Sam became successful. Whenever people asked him the secret of his success, he smiled and said, "The best treasure I ever found was hidden inside me." And every time he passed the old empty house on the hill, he remembered one simple lesson: never quit too soon. Because sometimes the greatest rewards come just after the moment you feel like giving up. Moral of the story: winners are not people who never fail, winners are people who never stop trying.